Hi everyone! Welcome to Modern Mom Girl. This is your girl Lex.
And it's your girl Emmy. Welcome to our fourth episode, Getting Comfortable Being Uncomfortable.
Yes, we are so excited for this episode as well because it takes a lot to be uncomfortable. And so that's what it's all about. And this is a reminder that it's about personal/self-growth. So don't put yourself in any dangerous situation that makes you feel unsafe. But this is for you to really have self-growth within yourself. So topics that we are going to be going over is just our own personal experiences on being uncomfortable by being comfortable. So learning how to be comfortable being uncomfortable. Okay, I'm just repeating myself right now. All right, so we are going to start off with what does getting comfortable being uncomfortable mean? So this means to grow your personal experiences, values, opportunities, and resilience. And honestly, you are unable to grow if you stay in your comfort zone and avoid situations where you may fail or be uncomfortable. Emmy, do you have anything to add to that?
No, I think you hit it on pretty good. So I feel like with growth, it comes with, being uncomfortable. And yeah, like you said, we're not able to grow if we just stay where we're comfortable, right? So, yeah.
Absolutely. And so topics that we will be covering are just our personal experiences with learning how to be uncomfortable, whether that's living alone, the activities that we do, events that we attend, and, then versus now. And so we shall start with Emmy's experiences.
All right. So I would say my main experiences are modeling and speaking up about how I feel and not staying silent about it. But starting with modeling, so for my modeling, I mainly do boudoir, and boudoir now is still something that was and still is looked down upon for women and, for Hmong women a lot. But yeah, I think it started around 2019, and especially for me, since I am more of like a thicker girl and I'm very tatted up, it's really different from the norm, especially from Hmong people. Yeah, and usually just for modeling in general, it's always been around that stigma where, you have to be a certain size or slim and like 5'8" or taller or whatever. But for me, I'm opposite of that, and I think it took me a while to get comfortable with doing it. When I first started doing modeling, or boudoir modeling, I didn't tell my parents or anything, but when I posted on Facebook, I would block my family from seeing my posts. And yeah, just because I feel like I would have gone really bad. Like my parents didn't support that stuff, so I blocked them like all the time on my posts. But as I just started modeling more, I just realized like this is who I am, and I'm their daughter, I'm their sister, no matter what. And if they support me, they will, and they don't, then they just don't, and
period.
They just gotta deal with it. And so yeah, as I started modeling, it was harder at first because a lot of photographers did prefer, photographers to have their own what would you call it,
kind of like their own idea.
They have their own ideas
aesthetic.
or preferences. Yeah, preferences, aesthetics on, like models, and you won't be every photographer's aesthetic. So it took me a while to really like understand that, and it took me a while to find the photographers that, have the same vision as me. And I found now like great like female photographers that really support women and like just womanhood and women's body, and really showcasing that, every curve of a woman is beautiful. All your curves, all your valleys are beautiful, and you should really just cherish what you have. And doing boudoir has really shown me that I have a really beautiful body. Like during photo shoots, I might get a little like insecure, but like, wow, I'm kind of like if I do a group photo shoot and I'm with multiple different girls, and you know, some of them are like, oh, a little bit smaller than me and whatnot, I used to get really insecure over that. But I just realized that all women's body, like, it's all beautiful, and I really just started pushing that towards myself, and that's why I kept doing boudoir modeling, so I could just show the younger girls that it's okay to really accept who you are and love your body for what it is, and no matter what, your body is beautiful and you're beautiful. So yeah, it took me a lot to really start doing boudoir and more not extreme but that sounds bad, but just yeah, just main focus on boudoir and really not doing it for others but doing it for me. And that's what I want for other girls too. And it's really encouraging when I get messages from other girls saying that I inspired them, and I've really you know, helped them like learn to love their own bodies. So yeah, that's,
I'm one of those girls.
that was one of my goals, and I'm glad that I'm able to do that. So yeah, doing that really helps me get more comfortable with like, oh, doing fashion shows. Like, I'm able to go do model calls now without feeling very insecure, because usually most people that do fashion shows, they're very tall or yeah, slimmer and tall. But like, doing modeling has really helped me with doing model calls for fashion shows. So that's opened a lot of doors for me. And yeah, so to the next one, speaking up about how I feel and not staying silent. I think that was one of the hardest thing I had growing up, because throughout my whole childhood, we were just really taught to stay silent and not really speak up. And that's what I did. I just listened and I never spoke up for how I felt. But as I got older and, you know, went through life and all these changes, I just really realized that, you know, my silence isn't really benefiting anyone. It doesn't benefit my family, because me staying silent, they don't know how I feel, and that causes us to get into arguments or bump heads, and me staying silent doesn't benefit me. So I think it's just during college when I got to this, I just had very bad moments with my parents, and I think that really just taught me it's not because of them, but it's because I didn't take initiative on, you know, speaking about how I felt, so my parents didn't know. And yeah, doing that, speaking up about how I feel, really opened up my mind a lot more about just my parents in general, and about why they think the way they do, or why they are the way they are, because, you know, they also haven't healed or they haven't learned. And that's really just made me appreciate my family more, or my parents more, and make me learn that it's also like me that's, you know, part of this cause of like issues that happen in the family, or with my parents, my relationships with my parents. And with that, it also led me to learn to speak up at work. Yeah, with work, I was very bad.
Yes.
Like, I never spoke up, and I always like, yes, yes, yes. Like, I just did everything like people pleasing, you know? And then now it's just really like, if I don't want to do it, I won't do it. And if I don't have time to do it, I'm going to tell them, like, you know, I don't have time to do this. Like, all my tasks, I'm at capacity with all my tasks, and I'm not able to. So yeah, I think just all these little things that I do really led up to me being able to do bigger things and just better things for me. What about you, Lex?
Yeah, honestly, Emmy really just hit all of those points, because I feel like I was also there with her too. I was introduced with boudoir shoots from Emmy, and honestly, I thought it was Blue Door. Because I thought it was like, because I always heard boudoir, and I was like, I guess they're just saying blue door, you know, until like I actually looked it up, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have been saying blue door this whole entire time. It's actually boudoir. But yeah, I actually did do a couple of those shoots before, and it was definitely an experience, definitely out of my comfort zone, and it really did get me to embrace my body even more. So I love that Emmy introduced me to that. So speaking some experiences that I had with being uncomfortable, which now I'm comfortable with. But my first experience ever was being forced to talk to customer service because my mom literally forced me to go to customer service and return items for her because she told me that I needed to learn how to do this stuff. And I was just like, I don't want to talk to them. Like, I didn't even buy it. You're the one that bought it. You need to go, like, finish what you started. But she was just like, no, you need to learn how to do this. This is a life skill. And so she always forced me to do it all the time. And so it was really awkward talking to them because, I was still a kid. I would say I think I was in middle school, like sixth to eighth grade there. And so I was like uncomfortable, like just talking to older people because they're probably looking at me like, bro, this kid is making a return. Like, this is so weird. But I thank my mom for that now because now I definitely know how to go talk to customer service. And I worked for customer service before too. So totally understand
Sorry about my dog.
that. Totally understand customer service now. And oh my gosh, y'all, I hated public speaking. I still hate public speaking till this day too. But like when I had my first presentation ever, it was in high school.
I
Chemistry
remember,
accelerated.
Y'all, legs be getting really red.
Yeah, like because I never liked that attention on me, It was just always like very uncomfortable because like growing up I was just like in my shell all the time, and so I didn't like to be the spotlight or the center of attention. And so when I had my first presentation and chemistry accelerated, I knew no one in that class. I was a new kid and I was just so shy and I was so quiet. And we had this like final presentation project and I was just like, oh my god, I don't want to do this presentation at all. And we could choose partners, but I didn't know anyone, and so I had to do it all by myself. And I went up there, I was shaking and I was just hoping no one would see me, and my tongue was shaking too because I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm so vulnerable right now. And so fast forward to college, that's when I really started to understand that I have to start facing my fears. I have to start being uncomfortable to be comfortable, because if I never face my fear of public speaking or presenting in general, then I'm never going to be good at it. And so my freshman year, that's when I really acknowledged that I do have this fear and I can't be afraid of it. And so I started practicing and practicing. I would just practice in the mirror. I would like pretend that there's an audience there and I'm just like practicing in front of them. And then when I actually present in front of the actual audience, I don't get as nervous anymore. And my sophomore year was the year that I really determined, like I really faced on my fear of not having that fear anymore. And my junior year, I did a monologue. So I was in acting class and I embodied that monologue. Like, honestly, it was the best ever. I give myself props. I really wish that I recorded that because, like, it was just amazing. That monologue was freaking 15 minutes. And coming from someone who was so nervous about presenting and public speaking to coming to a person that could do a 15-minute monologue and got an A on it. Wow, props to that. Honestly, just props to myself. I'm really glad that I could finally like push forward and be like, I can public speak and I'll be fine because everyone can do it too. And so that was like one of my first experiences of being uncomfortable and learning to be comfortable with it, and I succeeded, so I'm really happy about that. And then another one was my first breakup. I think that I was like really uncomfortable. I wasn't really uncomfortable, but I was uncomfortable being single because it's like I was in this relationship for a year and now I'm by myself and I don't have someone to lean on anymore. But then at the same time, I think because like so in this relationship I got cheated on, and I think that made it easier for me to get comfortable with being single, because honestly, like when I found out, I was just like, wow, I'm so like I have the biggest ick right now. And so that's why I was like, yeah, it's all about me now. And so I just had to start learning who I am and who my identity was, because I think that when I was in that relationship, I was really just thinking about that person more than myself.
Yourself.
And so I'm really glad that I let that person go. And so I just have an attachment to myself versus attachment to that person. And I think it's so important to not date in college. I mean, if you date in college, that's fine. But I just think that it's such a pivotal time for you to be with your education, to be with your time and your classmates and your friends, because it's your young 20s right there. And if you have something holding you back at that young age, then it's just going to be really tough for you. And so that also comes with living alone. Honestly, I lived alone in my senior year. I already mentioned that in, I think it was our first episode, yeah.
First episode,
I liked
yeah.
after college.
Left the college.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And so I love living alone by myself. Again, I was learning more about myself, and I was really going out of my comfort zone, and also making new friends as well too, because usually like I mean, me and so Emmy and I we're really open with making new friends, but I think that at this age it's kind of hard to make new friends. And so like just really putting yourself out there and letting people know that we could be friends too. And definitely when I lived alone in my first apartment, honestly, it was just bliss living by myself. But at the same time, it can get really lonely too, because you have to tell yourself what to do now. There's no one to really delegate you, like your parents. You have to make sure you eat, because sometimes I be forgetting to eat, because I'm just like on the couch all day watching my favorite show, and I'm just like, oh right, I have to make food for myself. That's kind of sad. But yeah, living alone was a time. 1 year living by myself. I really loved every part
It
of
felt
it.
longer.
And I know, right? It did feel longer, but you really do learn your habits and all the like details about yourself. So I also resonated with what Emmy said with standing up for yourself, learning how to say no. I think it's so important to know that you can also say no too. And even though we think that it may be a bad thing to say no, but it's really not. It's just setting your boundaries. Going back to our other episode too, setting boundaries is really something that you have to know for yourself, to let other people know as well too. And so I feel like this year is really my year to ingrain me saying no.
What are some activities or things you did that helped you, lead up to getting comfortable being uncomfortable? I would say some things that I did that led up to doing this was really focusing on the baby steps. I think a lot of times we all forget that the baby steps matter the most, and it's not only just, the big things that matter, but as you slowly work towards the bigger things, they all come together, So little things would be like trying new food, like food outside my comfort zone. I am a Asian food girly, Hmong food girly, Thai food, all that stuff. I would stay eating my Hmong food if I could, stay eating pho if I could, but I have tried to get more comfortable going to eat American restaurants and eating their stuff. sometimes even after I eat their stuff, I'm like, damn, I wish I ate Hmong food instead. you know, um, it's just that, like, yeah, trying new foods. Like, for example, when I went to Thailand and I ate like those, like fried insects and stuff. Yeah, try new things like that. Like slowly help you build up to those things. You think it doesn't, but it really does. And some more is dining alone. So I've dined in alone a lot this year because my friends are missing in action. I'm just kidding. because everybody's just really busy, and yeah, I've just gotten a lot more comfortable dining in. I used to be really uncomfortable doing that because I just felt so awkward, and it's like, I don't know, like we talked about last episode too. You think people is like really paying attention to you, like what is she doing? But really, they're not even paying attention to you. They're doing their own thing. So dining alone could be a baby step that could lead up to doing bigger things, and um, trying new activities. For example, I'm not a very active girl. I hate doing active things. I was more active in high school when I did sports and stuff, but after that, I was just, other than that, like I hated doing anything active. I hate running, mainly because I feel like having like bigger like tatas. I hated running, and any activity that did those things, I just wanted to not do like those activities. But I decided to do snowboarding and also skiing, and it's actually so much fun. Snowboarding is a lot of fun. I've only done it once or twice, I think. I don't remember, but it's actually a lot of fun. It made me really like want to try new things. So changing your daily routine is also, I think, really important. I feel like everybody gets so comfortable with the routine that you just don't want to do anything new. It's a routine. It's set, and I think adding one little thing could make a big difference. Like waking up earlier, you get a lot more
Mhm.
done. Or journaling, you could do a lot with that. And hitting the gym, which I'm still trying to get myself to do, or I'm still trying to make it into a routine. And also like making lunch for yourself. I think it's it's a really big impact. I feel like just taking care of yourself, that's also taking
Mhm.
care of yourself, and taking walks or just meditating and doing your daily affirmations. So, yeah, those little things in your daily routine could really help with getting more comfortable with doing new things, and also facing new challenges. So, also remembering that it is okay to fail. We learn from our mistakes, and just really give yourself grace as you go through these stages of your life. And one last thing is challenging yourself and cultivating new skills. I feel like we all also, like I said, get so comfortable with just doing things that we're so used to that we don't challenge ourselves to learn new things and like make our brain work. I feel like because doing the same things every day, our brain is, yeah, it's working, it's always working, but um doing new things, learning new things, your brain works a lot more,
Mhm.
and you really helps you think different and think more critically when with doing new things. So yeah, those are what I would say are my new activities that I've been doing. And one more thing is this podcast also. This is really something that was outside of my comfort zone ish, I would say. I think maybe mainly just the topics, but really I I'm comfortable with talking on camera, all these things, but you know, really learning to get more comfortable talking about topics that are considered taboo. And we're still going to slowly dive into that. So, yeah, that's it for me. What about you, Lex?
Yeah, so I really loved everything that Emmy said, and I can also emphasize or resonate with the little steps as well. And I think that, the little steps is really forming that into a habit and a ritual of yours in your everyday routine. I stopped going to the gym for like, I don't know, 3 years. I'm not even counting. But I just started going back this week, and I know like it's just this week, it's just the beginning, but I really have been going in the morning. And also, fact, I am now unemployed, period. 9 to 5, what? 9 to 5, who? So I really feel like, this month I'm really dedicating it to myself because obviously I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to start working again. But this time is really to just dedicate it to myself and just flourish in who I truly am and what I want to continue doing in my lifestyle and what I want to take out and take in. And so that's why I definitely want to start incorporating the gym back into my life. I've been going every morning, even if I'm not doing hardcore workouts, as long as I show up. And I
Yep,
think
as long
that
as you
that's
show up.
also right. I think that is so important, is just showing up. Like, you don't even have to do anything. You could just like walk on the treadmill or just like do a couple stretches, but as long as you're there, you are already incorporating it as a habit because
Mm-hmm.
you know that you're gonna go. I have been going to the dog park a lot with my girls. Usually I would just do independent walks by myself, but now that I have my girls, I always go to the dog park now. And I mean, that's still like alone time with me too, even though the girls are with me. But I think it's just like, just being there, being able to actually get up and go do something for yourself
Mm-hmm.
is really important.
Showing up for
Um,
yourself.
right. I definitely want to start dining alone, but I'm still kind of scared doing that. But I think I might start like at, I don't know, a fast food restaurant, like just going to Chick-fil-A and order my usual order, and I don't know, just start from there.
It's
And
actually very
then,
peaceful.
yeah, I know. My sister, she dines out a lot by herself too, and she goes to the bar by herself. And so I really envy that of her
Mm-hmm.
because I really want to start doing that as well too. But I'm still a little bit shy. So I do want to get to that. And I think that what's so important is you acknowledging the fact that you know these things about yourself. You are self aware that,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you want to get to your higher self
Mm-hmm.
versus being,
Definitely.
yeah, versus just being um, in your ego. Like, oh, why can't I do X, Y, and Z? Like, oh, my life is so miserable. Like, why am I always making mistakes? So that was the old you. Now you have to be in your higher self. And so, yeah, those are just like some activities that I practice right now. But I would say to how I got to who I am today was just a lot of practicing. Honestly, I could talk more in depth with how much practice you need to do in order to get to who you are today, but I'm just
Mm-hmm.
gonna leave it at that because I know this was a lot to take in, y'all, but this is how this is how you get the uncomfy to be comfy.
Get comfy, being uncomfy.
Oh shoot, did I say the other way around again?
Yeah.
It's a tongue twister, y'all. Oh my gosh. Okay, getting comfy, being uncomfy. Yes. All right. So we want to share some advice and some quotes with you guys. And so, um, my advice is that don't regret what's been done, look forward to getting better. And the reason why is because I used to spend a lot of time just reflecting back on what I could have done better when I should already be working on how to be better. And that took a lot of my time and energy because I was so hard on myself, always critiquing, always criticizing, when really I should just be like, girl, let's move forward. What can you do better? So
Mm-hmm.
I think that's really important.
Mm-hmm.
How about you, Emmy?
For me, I would say the biggest thing is to stop comparing yourself to others and to focus on your personal growth. I think we as humans, it's natural for us to compare ourselves to others, and I think that really stops us from really focusing on what we actually need to work on and what we can actually do to grow. And like everyone says, everyone is running a different race and going through different paths. So Put your energy into yourself and focus on you. Practice the daily affirmations. You're strong. You are safe. You can do it. So do not push yourself to the extreme. And yeah, go at your pace. You finish your path, different from people. You have your own race. They have their own race. And give yourself grace, like I always say. I think that's like my favorite thing to say. Give yourself
Mm-hmm.
grace. Like really, I
Yeah.
emphasize it so much. Give yourself grace. Be nice to yourself, like how you're nice to others. And let yourself make the mistakes that you do, because we all learn from mistakes, and that's how life is. And if we don't learn from our mistakes, we will always make it again and still be stuck, in the past doing the same things. So yeah, just truly embracing every part of you and letting yourself grow from that. And yeah, one more thing is just, if you're truly feeling uncomfortable or afraid from doing something that makes you feel like uncomfortable, then take a step back. It's okay to take a step back and slow down and to start again. So it's always okay to start again, because you started already, and that's what matters. So yeah,
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I love that. I mean, your voice is so soothing. I was just like, am I in a therapy session right
that's the
now?
first I've heard that, because I'm always a loud girl. But I forgot to say, so one quote I did want to say was from Lovey's TED Talk. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. My favorite quote from her is, "In a world that wants us to whisper, I choose to yell." And it doesn't have to be you vocally yelling, it could be through your actions, like me modeling and doing boudoir, and showing more than what I should be. It's really me being loud and choosing to yell, just being who you are in general, and just really shining is being loud. Don't I really want to emphasize, like, be loud in this world, make your presence loud, because we should, and we're women, and women get told, to do different. So I really emphasize that. Choose to yell in this world that wants us women to whisper. So yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I love that quote. I really love it. And I resonate with it 100%. Coming from someone who has been quiet, like the beginning of her life. So I would also like to share a quote too. I don't know who this is by. I just saw it in a picture and I sent it to the Besties group chat. So it says, your first workout will be bad. Your first podcast will be bad. Your first speech will be bad. Your first video will be bad. Your first anything will be bad. But you can't make your 100th without making your first. So put your ego aside and start. And that's really it. That's all what we gotta say, is that you gotta start. So
Yes.
start
So,
somewhere.
and that's right now. So we have something just for like us, you friends, if you guys want to do it. Um, uh, I would say, how should I do this? Maybe comment or DM us, but I want you guys to make a list of 5 things that you really, really want to do, but it makes you uncomfortable, and make a promise to yourself to complete these. Because why? Promises shouldn't be broken, okay? And if anyone has ever broken a promise to you, I am so sorry, and you definitely didn't deserve it. Yeah, we gonna punch them like what Lex just did. But yeah, so this is just activity for you to participate in if you want to, but it's really just something for you to start off doing and take a step to doing bigger things. So let's get started together, y'all.
Period. And so, always as a reminder, we are here for you guys every other Wednesday. And if you enjoyed this episode, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Follow us on oh my gosh, I was gonna say Spodcast. Spotify, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok at Modern Mom
Modern Mom
Girl.
Girl.
And as always, don't be afraid to send us a DM because we respond.
Yes.
So, we shall see you guys in the next episode. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for sticking with us to the end. And we love you guys. Stay safe and start getting comfortable by being uncomfortable.
She said it right, period.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much,
right.
y'all.
See you soon,
girlies.